Hey, everybody, welcome to the morning market briefing. It's Friday, July 17th, 2026. Hope you're doing well out there. Ben Nye making it by the skin of his teeth this morning, walking in very casually.
Never
Some of you
a
have witnessed a frantic Ben Nye entrance to the podcast before. If you're on the YouTube, we did not get that today, but got here just in the nick of time. So you can tell us about rough times for a number of companies, Ben.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing to be an American investor today. We're definitely seeing some
equity.
But I would say the nice thing about being an investor in the U.S. is that we're not solely dependent on one of these companies. Like Japan, for example, with SoftBank down 9% over in Japan. We definitely have some companies that are taking it on the chin this morning, but it's not going to be perilous to the overall state of the American equity backdrop. The first one is SpaceX, down 3% this morning after the rockets failed to fire last night.
It's a tough look.
They think they're going to give it another go next week. Personally, I'm surprised it's down. It shouldn't. The stock should not be down at all this morning, because anyone who's buying SpaceX in the hopes that, or based on the next rocket launch, are not buying SpaceX for the right reason.
Yep.
SpaceX is based on what's going to be the case in 10, 15 years, which really shouldn't change all that much, even though the stock is very volatile. Second thing is Google. This came out yesterday, but they're delaying the launch of Gemini 3.5 Pro. People were hoping that would get launched sooner, but now it's not meeting its internal coding requirements. And so that's not good.
What does that mean?
It means that you basically can't use it to code as effectively as some other products. Like
Cursor?
Yeah, like Cursor.
Nice.
Or which SpaceX company now, or Claude, or Codex from OpenAI. And then on top of that, you had the Chinese company Moonshot release its Kimi K3 model.
Can't make that up.
That apparently outperforms or performs comparably to OpenAI and Anthropic's. So, that's the concern, that these guys are catching up to a lot of the American AIs, and I think that that was always going to be the case because the gap was so wide. But I don't think this means that the U.S. AIs are worse or they'll be surpassed. I just think that that's the nature of technology advancement. China did catch up a lot in smartphones, but that doesn't mean people don't use the iPhone anymore.
We should start a game called Is this
real?
Is this an AI company or is this a Korean pop star? Because Kimi K3 sounds like she could team up with Gemini and really go places.
Yeah. I'm very much with you. Yeah, it's really hard to keep up with like which of these things are real. We need an AI just to name AI tools. Like we need its own LLM that's just like, this is what you should call this thing.
Yeah.
So maybe Hicks could build that. I know Hicks has done some really great work with important things like license plates, using some of the powerful tools that we have available. So
I thought I just was not being very observant, because I saw that earlier this week and his license plate, and I thought to myself, that's interesting. I wonder what the genesis of that is. And then I never asked Hicks because I didn't want to be that person who finally figured it out 6 months after everyone else knew.
Yeah, so I don't know if we can do a reveal. It might be a violation of his privacy, but Hicks has a new license plate, and it is 93. Just says 93 on the back. 93. Just two numbers sitting right there. It's been a passion project of his. He's wanted to get the lowest one he could get, and 93 was the lowest available, thanks to a tool he built that would scrape all the databases and submit queries to see what's available. Second lowest was what, 227? So 93. I wondered, like, does this was it 1993? Is there significance to this? Nope, just the lowest one we could get. So
Hicks was what, -4?
I mean, it's shocking to me that someone from 1993 can drive.
yeah.
Think about that.
And I would say this is an open call, no matter where you are in any state. If you see a license plate that is 2 digits and it is sub 93, I want you to take a photo and email it in to us. I can't remember what our email is. tmmb@narwhal.com. Send it in. And just know that whoever that is a better man than Hicks.
More powerful.
Yeah, much more powerful.
Speaking of powerful tools.
Yeah. On that note, as we're looking for license plate numbers to go down, Netflix down 10%. What a segue.
Down about 9.3%, probably. I don't know if we have the chart there, Hicks, if I attached it, but essentially what you're seeing at Netflix is significantly decelerating growth, which means the revenue growth of this period is less than revenue growth of the prior period, which is less than the revenue growth of the prior period.
Oops.
We've gone from like 18% growth in the U.S. to 14% to 10%, and they're looking for more deceleration on an aggregate basis next quarter, which probably means more deceleration in the U.S. And the problem with that is the U.S. is where they make most of their money, and so profitability is constrained. So that's what's going on at Netflix. They're having engagement issues, and they're trying to get into things that other companies are already in. I feel like what they're attempting to do now is have people essentially pay on subscriptions for watching podcasts. Is one of the things that they're moving into, but you can do that on Spotify. You can do that on YouTube. You do that on YouTube right now.
Yeah, you are doing it, some of you.
So,
yeah, many people are saying you may be doing this.
And so I think that is an issue for Netflix, is how do you drive that engagement? They've been trying to move into games. They're trying to move into live events. But this is all going to come at a cost. And you're going to have to be able to drive pricing as a result. And I think that they're starting to have diminishing marginal returns on that.
Are you watching any podcasts on Netflix, Tom?
No. In fact, it annoys me when you open Netflix and it's at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I consume a decent amount of podcasts. Several that I listen to are on there as, I guess, the exclusive video providers, but I feel no obligation to watch them.
I'll tell you what a pet peeve is sometimes when I listen to a podcast on Spotify, I'll have the video on my phone, though I'm not usually actively watching it. But what it does is make it impossible to skip the ads.
Yeah.
Because then it has to load the video and it just fouls up the whole system. So, I don't know, call me old-fashioned, but watching podcasts is not something I'm real into.
No.
And also I think one of the things that Netflix is screwing up right now is sometimes there'll be what looks like a pretty interesting movie on Netflix, and then you click on it, it's like, wait, this is in Spanish.
See. Yeah, there's a lot of they're really trying to push a lot of foreign you're like what's new on Netflix, and it's like some sort of Bollywood film, and you're like, why? I've never watched a Bollywood film, nor do I care to.
Yeah.
I mean, until they come up with something like Parasite, the Korean film, which was unbelievable, I will say. What a movie. But it's a big stretch, to put. Listen, I have the subtitles on already because I can't hear because I'm an old man. But I'm not going to put the subtitles on and then have to also read them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to Netflix so that I can read a story.
Yeah.
The market is down a lot today, but there's not really that much going on. A lot of it's just because of the freak out of Kimmy K3.
Tell me about it.
So just really quickly,
Did she shave her head to avoid the paparazzi?
What a chick.
While we're at it, Tom, like, was Parasite supposed to be a scary movie? Because I got 45 minutes into it on the plane, and I thought, this is very boring.
Man, I think that movie is...
and it was not scary.
Well, it's not scary. I think it's just the...
I haven't seen it.
The overwhelming weight of the human condition. It's a class struggle. I thought it was an excellent movie.
Ben gave up on it.
Yeah.
I haven't even started it. Maybe I'll do that on the next flight. It's probably not even on there anymore.
We talked about I watched Begonia and Marty Supreme on the last two flights.
Yeah.
Both great, I thought.
Marty Supreme was good.
Yeah. Shout out Kevin O'Leary, close
Mr.
friend of the
Wonderful.
podcast.
Mr. Wonderful. Let's look ahead a little bit. We do have some options expirations coming today. Ben, do you expect much volatility due to that?
Yeah, I think that we'll see that. But the thing about options expiration is that you'll see a decent amount of volatility, but it'll be contained within a range because people end up having to close their positions. So I actually think that that's one of the reasons SpaceX is. I was kind of making a joke a little bit earlier about why SpaceX is not. SpaceX shouldn't even be down today.
Yeah, but that's why.
But I think one of the reasons that it's not down more is because of the options bringing it back.
Busy week next week. We'll hear from Domino's Pizza, D.R. Horton, Graco. Trying to look at ones that I think are just going to be interesting off a massive list of earnings.
Google, IBM, which already was down 25% on the pre-market. Tesla. So we got all the defense companies. We've got some energy companies, some healthcare companies.
Yeah.
It's going to be, we're going to learn a lot next week. And I think that if so far this earnings season has shown anything, it's that the economy is moving forward and consumers are moving forward and they're in relatively good shape. We're not really hitting that wall that I had feared, at least not yet. We had a good number out of the Philadelphia Fed yesterday. But I think that we're going to have to answer a lot of questions on the AI CapEx side. I think that's where the biggest question mark lies. And so for that reason, I think there's no earnings that is more important than Google next week.
Yep.
They just did an $80 billion stock offering. Their CFO was quoted about saying people are too focused on ROI, which is never what you want
to, and not the person you want to hear that from.
And they also just said that Gemini 3.5 is not rolling out as fast as they thought. So Google all of a sudden has gone from hero to goat, and not in the good kind as far as the Mag 7 is concerned. So I'm curious if they are able to arrest that perceptive decline when they report next week.
Good deal. What are we seeing with rates, Tom?
We're seeing real strength today, honestly. The move that I would have expected after getting CPI is starting to cook in. 30 years down to a 506, 10 years down to like a 452-ish. So good week to have bought just an enormous amount of bonds. I've been buying all day, every day this week in every account. So that's been very positive. Interestingly, though, we have really cratered on expectations of a hike. So we started off the week right around 1.5 hikes this year, priced in futures. And now we're looking at a 1.08% chance of a hike by December. So there's a lot of air coming out of that balloon. I still think that there's a potential for a cut. I've basically put my entire year on this podcast saying 1, maybe 2. I still think it's on the table. If you look at Kalshi, we're now at the two most likely outcomes are no cuts or no movement whatsoever at 79.9%, and then one cut at 14%, and hikes are sub 5%, which I think is really
it's a real reversal from the beginning of the week.
I would think it'd be more indicative of what people are thinking than futures, because futures have been so wrong for so long. I mean, anybody who was betting on 2 cuts or 2 hikes this year has gotten just waxed this week. So we'll see what happens. But I still, I think that's a pretty good probabilistic curve there. 80% chance, nothing, but a higher chance of a cut than a hike.
Yeah, I like that. I like that positioning. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Short call today. You guys take the extra few minutes, listen to the new Kimmy K3 album. Just came out. And have a great weekend.